What's good? Ramon Carter here with Gut Check, and today I want to talk to you guys about the fact that you have to understand that your fruit is your feedback. Your fruit is your feedback. Now, I want to just talk about this a little bit because, a lot of times, we want to do these different things. We want to be who we are. And sometimes we might involve ourselves in self-deception or make excuses. And this is a powerful way to not self-deceive. This is a powerful way to evaluate where you really are, right, without having any bias on it. And that is that your fruit is your feedback. If your money's a little low, if your relationships are a little poor, or whatever you can think of, the fruit of that is your feedback that something that you're doing or something that you've been engaging in isn't working, or it isn't working at 100%. What we have to do with this whole gut check process is it all starts off with inspiration. Inspiration is the self-image self-image pillar of gut check. And then also in that pillar is the self-evaluation, the brutal self-assessment of where you are, what you're doing, and where you want to go. You have to know where you are. You have to know where you want to go in order to get there. You have to have, there's 2 points on the map. You got to know where you're going, and you got to know when you're coming from so that you can be able to assess and analyze what it's going to take for you to get there. And your fruit is your feedback. There's something in your life. If you have deficits in your life, you have deficits in your finances or deficits in your relationships, or if you just feel unfulfilled and you have deficits in your own personal, area, your own personal space, you have doubts and fears. There's a reason for that, right? And we have to understand what those reasons are in order to change those things. And if there's something that you're ignoring, there's something that you are choosing to ignore, or you wouldn't have these deficits, or there's something that you don't know that's not helping you eradicate these deficits. We always hear that, you have to pay the cost to be the boss. James Brown has a great song, Pays the Cost to Be the Boss. Every time they put it on, my head nods. But I had to ask myself, what, Ramon, what is the cost? What is the actual cost? And the cost is life. The cost is your lifetime. The cost is you giving a portion of your life to deep work, to understanding what it is you need to do, and then the discipline to carry that out. That's the cost. Most people won't do deep work. Most people won't evaluate themselves. Most people won't push themselves to the next level. Most people won't engage in what's called what do they call it? I'm blanking. Self-expression or self-love or even self-evaluation to understand where their deficits are. What SWOT analysis of yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are the opportunities that are out there for you? What are the threats that are seeking to come against you? And all that can be formulated and put into one package if you just evaluate your fruit. You might feel like deep in your heart, you were designed to be a peach tree. You love peaches. That's all you want to do is peaches. You think about peaches, peach, 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 peach. But if your fruit is apples, then right now you're an apple tree. And you have to engage in peach tree activities. You have to start to plant and sow peach tree seeds so that your fruit will become peaches, so that your fruit will reflect the you that you see yourself as, so that your fruit will reflect the you that you were created and designed and uniquely placed here in this earth to be. You always hear me talk about consumption and production. Well, your fruit is your feedback. I always talk about the fruit of what you produce dripping off the chins of others. Well, what fruit are you producing? What fruit are you serving up? Is your fruit even edible? Can anybody even get sustenance off your fruit? Can anybody even be sustained off your fruit? Right? And that's something to think about. And it's that brutal self-assessment that's going to take you where you want to go. You're not yet the person that you're becoming. There's a verse of scripture where Jesus says, Peter, I'll make you a fisher of men. That means that Peter wasn't currently the person that Jesus told him that he could be, that it was going to take 3.5 years or so for Peter to walk into that. And I don't want to get super biblical, super scriptural. That's just a reference, but we're the same way. You want to become this thing. You want to become who you're designed to be because you're not yet that person. Well, it's going to take a process of walking yourself through that. It's going to take a process of assessment. It's going to take a process of growth. It's going to take a process of mind expansion and heart expansion as well. We always talk about mindset. Well, mindset is important, but heart set is important as well. Are you serving up what you want to do just for you, or are you going to serve up your gifts and talents in service of other people? Because if it's about about you, if it's about ego, if it's about what you can gain, then the first obstacle, the first impediment, the first time you don't get enough likes or shares on social media, the first time you don't get validation from friends or family, you're going to quit. Because your ego is going to tell you that since it's about me, I'm not getting the results that I want. But if it's about service to mankind, if it's about service to others, if it's about using your gifts and talents to serve and create a world in which you want to live, then when you hit the obstacles, you're going to keep going. Because you've already set up parameters that this is who you're designed to be. You've already set up a parameter that these are the things that you will do no matter what to achieve the vision, right? That I talked about on Friday Nights Live about the race isn't given to the swift, but the person that endures to the end. Will you endure to the end? Right? That's the most important part. But you got to have that self-assessment. You got to sit down and eradicate the excuses from your life. You got to sit down and eradicate the deception from your life. Your fruit is your feedback, right? Check your bank account. Check your relationships. Check your heart, how you feel on a daily basis. Are you depressed? Are you having mood swings? Are you ups and downs? Are you angry, right? That fruit is your feedback. Are people drawn to you? Are people repelled from you? Your fruit is your feedback. And there's no other way to explain it. That's the most honest and simple way to do it. Evaluate the fruit of what you have in your life. Those are the seeds that you've planted. For good or bad, those are the seeds that you've planted. We got millionaires that take their own lives. Why? Because the fruit is their feedback. They did deep work in the area of producing an income, but they might not have done deep self-evaluation. They might not have done deep relational evaluations. And now they're taking their own lives because there's a deficit that they just felt they couldn't take any longer. You don't want that to be you. You don't want your deficits to continue to go on 10, 20, 30 years. And then you're 65, 85, shoulda, coulda, woulda, wishing you would have done different. Your fruit is your feedback. Brutal self-assessment. It's time to gut check. That's why it's called gut check, because it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Where is your fruit? What type of fruit do you have? Because that is your feedback. As always, I want to thank you guys for your support. And remember, the pre-launch is going on right now. You can pre-order your books. Click the link in the bio or the link in the post. And as always, I want you to think abundance, focus on growth, create, never compete. Thanks, and God bless.